He's actually he hosts his own podcast, Chris Politickin, right? Politickin is your podcast. I've been on it twice.
Right.
Awesome podcast. And actually they move in the same direction we do. They're always looking to highlight, promote local businesses, entrepreneurs, people making a difference in their niche. Their niche is really the hip hop world, right?
Politickin is self-help meets hip-hop and personal development, so we're trying to bridge them together. So that's why we have the rappers, but then we have the guests like you.
Right.
These motivational speakers.
Because everything, we talked about this, everything really comes down to mindset. It comes down to paradigm. And I know that's how we even hooked up. You saw some of the stuff on my Instagram.
Right. So well, I saw you in the gym first, and I was looking at him like, is he a pro wrestler or something? Because I really like wrestling, so I saw him in the gym, and I saw his Instagram. I was like, oh, this is dope. So
we hooked up a while back. Actually, you were one of the first podcasts I did.
Mm-hmm.
Back, what was it, about 6 months ago?
Right.
So let's. I want to introduce you because I like to get people behind that black curtain a little bit so they know who you are.
Okay.
And share some of your experience and your wisdom, man. Because I want to bring that mindset, those gold nuggets to my people. So where are you from? Where did it all start?
All right. So the first thing, I'm from Mississippi. So I'm from the
down south.
Dirty South, like it's the real dirty South. It's from Columbus, Mississippi. So anybody watching, shout out to Columbus, right next to Mississippi State.
Okay.
But it's called a friendly city. So we actually, like during the Civil War, we didn't get attacked. So we have all the antebellum homes. It's really nice.
Wow.
But we also have I graduated in 2000, and we still had what they call it, the prom.
Yeah.
We had a white homecoming queen, a black homecoming. So we still had segregation. Yeah.
Really?
In 2000. Yeah.
Has it changed since?
It changed, but I'm just telling you, that's where I grew up from. So I mean, but at the same time, it's weird because actually I didn't really encounter racism growing up. So I guess the era I grew up in, it was kind of,
even though it was segregated.
Right. But I guess stuff like that makes me think wow. But when I was growing up, it wasn't. It was funny. We get a black and white. It was better.
And you know what? That's funny you say that because my dad, he was World War II vet, so he's in his 90s, right? So he grew up in Philly, and he remember him telling me a story. He was probably 16 years old, right? Taking a girl out from the other side of the neighborhood, but he was from the Irish part. She was from the Polish part. That's how segregated it was back then.
Right.
So when they took the bus after the movies, he went to take her home. She goes, no, you can't come down my block because you don't belong here. You know, you're not part of the neighborhood in this neighborhood. So it's interesting how, it just, and he said that was just part of it was just it.
Yeah, and I think that's why it's good that we study history because a lot of stuff, even in today's time, if you go back, it's all about love, everybody.
So growing up in Mississippi, how was it?
I loved it. I was very active, and I think the thing is, it's kind of like I said, it was the dirty South. So I had friends and family members. Like I went this way, they went this way. So I had family members in jail to this day. Still have to send money and everything like that. So luckily, I had my mom and my dad when I had sports. And then I joined the Marine Corps, so I kind of left that environment and kind of cultivated my own.
So was your initial foundation your mom and your dad?
I just had, I don't know, there's something about me. I just always had that will to learn. Like when I was 5 years old, I'd just sit around and read encyclopedias. That's like Wikipedia before Wikipedia.
That's right. That's
right. So I always had that drive, and I just always wanted to do better for myself. So I don't know where it came from. I'm glad I got it.
Right.
But I always had it, and then I always was the type of person I listened to older people. So I listened to my grandma.
The wisdom.
Always had it. But like I said, I just think luckily I left that environment, so I didn't, once I got out here, it's kind of like I'm by myself. I had to start over.
Yeah.
If I would have stayed in that environment,
you might have been influenced.
Yeah.
You might have kind of. But as an early kid, you were always curious. You wanted to learn. And then it sounds like did you have your mom and dad all the way? Did they stay together?
I did, but like I said, I grew up rough. Yeah. So I had child abuse. Yeah. Parents had drug abuse, domestic. Right. Okay. So I grew up all that. Right. So the thing about me when I joined the Marine Corps and people had PTSD, I guess I already went through it growing up. Right. So it was like normal to me. I'm sitting there laughing at the drill instructors and stuff. So it like
just part of your day.
Mhm.
Yeah, just part of your day. And then your grandparents probably, your grandmom had a lot of influence going on.
And then I had two little sisters, so I assumed that leadership role early. Like 7 or 8, I always was a leader. So like I said, I guess sometimes if you're raised in that tough environment, it kind of strengthens you for when you know.
You know what? I'm glad you went there, because I always say struggle equals strength, right?
Mhm.
But I think it also depends on you and how you perceive it, right? You could have perceived it as child abuse and the drug abuse and all that, and be the victim instead of looking at it as, you know what, I'm going to now step this up.
Right.
What can I do first of all to lead whoever I protect, right? Your sisters, and then the next is, how do I get out of this? Because this ain't for me. I think, but you had that. You could have went the other way, right? You could have used that as a crutch, and said, and been the victim.
Yeah, actually, my mom, she's watching right now. Right before I went to the Marine Corps, I was like, I don't want to go no more. And she was like, what are you gonna do? And I was like, I'm gonna sell drugs. And I was like, straight face and everything. And she was like, no, you're not gonna sell drugs. Go to the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
So I went. And I'm here.
And I'd say you haven't. Now do you go back home?
I go home a lot. I go home, not a lot. I go home. I try to go home or have my mom come out here.
Okay, all right. And then, so how were you a good student? Did you like school?
I was the type of person where I was good at school, but I was better at chasing girls.
There you go. Priorities. Priorities.
So school wasn't my I'm the type of person I can not study and make a B, or I can study and make an A. I'll not study and make a B.
That's still good.
Yeah, and then I was just, like I said, I kind of always wanted to learn. So, I think the thing with school now is sometimes it's like certain areas you don't want to study and they don't give it to you. So I was like one of those. I just kind of learned on my own.
Yeah, I mean, if you could not study and get a B, that's a good thing, because I didn't study and I got an F.
Yeah,
so.
I didn't.
That's
study.
good.
So
that's
school.
good.
School is kind of
actually easy for you then,
right? Pretty
right.
much, yeah.
That's pretty wild. Yeah, I always admired that, and because I used, I never did good in school, and then even when I showed up, I was always in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
But sports are the only thing that kept me out of even more trouble. And you know my story being on the show. But it was interesting to me because school was actually hard for me because it was hard for me to concentrate. But for you, it was easy. And I saw those kids that would just cruise through without doing anything. Yeah. And it's pretty neat.
And then we also, our coach McCory, so he had basically back then, if we didn't have the grades, we couldn't play. So you at least wanted to pass. So that was at least a little motivation to do that.
Yeah. But the sports definitely kept us out of a lot of trouble. Right? It sounds like. So what made you want to go into the Marines? What started that journey?
Man, it's a crazy story. Because like I said, I was always chasing girls. Girls was like my main thing. So it was this guy. His name is Marty. So he might be watching, Marty Turner. He's actually like a councilman now back home. So he was in the Marine Corps before me. He saw me in the mall, and I'm just walking around probably looking for girls. And he was like, hey man, like he was real, I was probably like a senior, but he was a couple classes ahead of me. He was real good. Yeah. So he just came up to me and he's like, hey man, you want to join the military? And I'm like, what? And he's like, you hard, right? You tough? And I'm like, yeah man, I'm tough. That's it. So basically I just had a chip on my shoulder, wanted to prove I was tough. So I
just joined, huh?
Yeah, but growing up, I never thought I was going to join. So.
Wow. And then you, what year did you go in?
I went in 2000 and got out in 04. So when I went in, it was right now and all that happened.
Yeah, you were right there.
Right. But luckily I didn't go because I got a story about that. So any of my Marine friends watching, right after 9/11, we actually had a formation. And our master sergeant came up and he was like, so who wants to go? And all these people raising their hand. I was like, I'm not raising my hand. I like, you can pick me, but I ain't raising my hand. So I ain't raised my hand, so he didn't pick me. So shout out to the ones that raised their hand.
Then what'd you do?
I just stayed in 4 years. So after I did my 4 years, I got out and I ended up getting a job through one of my military officers in biotech. So I just got entry-level biotech position, and it was nights. So while I worked nights, I went to working night shift. I ended up getting a couple of degrees. So I got a bachelor's in business management. I got a master's in psychology, and I just got an MBA. And that master's in psychology, like you were saying, it was kind of for me because it was kind of like I needed to figure out who am I, why am I this way, why I think this way. So that's why I really like the psychology, just because I know a lot of stuff is the way I am. A lot of it based off how your upbringing.
Your conditioning, right? But you can always change that. And so what master's in psychology?
Yeah.
That's really good. How much all that you did to get your master's degree in psychology, I'm curious, how much ties into personal development? How much ties into self-help and the things that you know that I always share?
So while I got my master's, this whole, like, I would say since 2006, so 10 years now, I've been really studying the personal development, self-help. I'm really into that field.
Okay.
So I'm all in metaphysics now, and pretty much it's the same.
That's what I thought.
So it's all about how you think, how you condition yourself. I mean, sometimes, like, I don't know, man. Sometimes it's like, sometimes people have like really bad stories, and I don't even know what to say, because you got the ones like, you know, how somebody kidnapped somebody, put them under their basement, chain. You can't just say, "Oh, change your thinking, and it'll be better." Right. Sometimes people get bad breaks, and it just is what it is. But I would say 90% of the time, you could probably change it.
Yeah, but also, and I know what you're saying, right? Because it's easy for us because we're not under that basement chained up.
Yeah.
But at the same time, what's interesting is it still does boil down to that mindset, because I don't know if you ever read the book by Viktor Frankl, and he was a Jewish psychiatrist in World War II, and he was in a concentration camp, and he wrote a book because he you know, and the stuff he went through was just horrendous, right? I mean, horrendous, right? Starving to death, almost, you know, watching people just die. And what he realized through that whole process is what you have to have a why. So you have to have something to hold on to. And the only thing that got him through was he just wanted to touch his wife's hand one more time. That's the only thing that got him through all that torture. I mean, physical abuse, mental abuse, starvation in the Nazi concentration camps. And watching people just die. And then he noticed that people that made it and survived going through the exact same thing, they had a why. They had a purpose. What was going to get them through? And he said that's all he thought about every day. So again, it does go back to that mindset, right? That paradigm. And I know I want to get into your podcast because I think it's so cool the way I love the niche, right? I love that you're taking what you love, which is hip hop, and then what you love, which is mindset, personal development, right? Psychology, and then blending that together, which is what's his name, my man, the preacher.
Oh,
the hip hop preacher.
Oh, Eric Thomas.
Eric Thomas. Yeah, I mean, again, same thing, right? Blending that in, which I'm sure you hear a lot, right? Yeah. You hear about that a lot. Did he have any influence on you? E.T.?
No, man, he competition. He's cool, but I'm trying to, because I've been doing my show for like 8 years now. So.
Well, you got your own flavor.
Yeah, so I'm really trying to develop my own niche, and I think I got it. So it's really just marketing, promoting, the building.
Yeah,
but I look at everybody as we equal.
Not only that. I mean, you do have your own niche, because I know it's called the hip hop preacher, right? Yeah. But you actually, your thing is literally marrying the hip hop world, right? Artists to the personal development.
Because if you realize it, like, just like we have affirmations, I noticed with hip hop people, like, just when Jay-Z, when he first started, he didn't have that stuff he rapped about. So sometimes it's kind of like they're speaking it into existence, especially like when you're coming from where you really believe those rhymes you're writing, they speak it. So a lot of those, I don't think, they might not look at it like that, but I realized that, like, especially when they first started, like, I want a Benz, I want a Lexus, I want a house. They're talking, so
they're speaking into existence. No question about it. The tie-in is absolutely perfect. I got a question for you. And I probably know what the answer is, but I'd love to hear your take on that. You know, I'm a firm believer that it's a tragedy that personal development isn't taught in school from day one. What do you think about that?
I think first up, like schools, like you have some schools where they're not really they're teaching people how to be workers. Right. So when you're teaching them how to be a worker, you're not even teaching them how to think. You're teaching them how to, you're teaching them how to follow directions, and if they question the directions, like, hey, what are you doing? So I think that's the main thing. But I think all that personal development, finance, affirmations, all that, they should teach the brain, because a lot of people don't even know how the brain works and how powerful the brain really is.
And the mind, right? That it's omnipresent, it's in every cell of our body. And a lot of people don't really truly understand the mind. And I love to break that down for people. I'm working on a program now, Knockout Fear in the First Round as well, a boot camp. And we're going to be doing some webinars on it, and that's one of the lessons is the actual breaking down the mind and how it works, the conscious, subconscious, and in the body. Like you said, talking it into existence, and then taking that action and moving forward. Which you know really well because the psychology, all those years of training, plus the personal development. So, what made you, besides the affirmations, what made you tie in? Where did you see the connection with those young artists? In hip hop and in the personal development world, do you feel like there was a void? Were they missing something?
I don't know. I guess really because I just been really working on my brand, and like a lot of times they say your brand should be you.
Absolutely.
So
100.
That's me. Like I listen to hip hop, I listen to rap, but I'm reading and I'm studying personal development as much as I'm doing rap. So I'm just yeah. But
even though. And same with me, right? This is my brand, and people always say, you know, is this who you are? And I said, if you saw me out on a Saturday night after dinner, this is me.
Right.
So I am. So I'm a big believer in authenticity is the new commodity, especially with the internet that we have. But once you made that decision, you start to move forward. Were there any other connections that you didn't see until you got into it besides the affirmations? Like what changes have you seen, or what connections have you seen when you connect these guys with, or girls with, personal development?
Well, tell you the truth, a lot of them already doing it. They just, I guess, because in rap, it's not cool to say you're doing that stuff.
But they are.
So they don't, but a lot of them do. A lot of them, if I'm talking to them, they be like, oh, I read Dale Carnegie. So a lot of them read that, because a lot of them, especially if you're trying to say, oh, I'm the best rapper of all time, there's a certain mind, you know.
Muhammad Ali.
Right? So they a lot of them read that stuff and do all that stuff. So they just don't, I guess, like I said, it's kind of the same thing with school. I guess they don't really promote it far as to the masses.
Well, they do. It's going to hurt their brand.
Right.
It's going to hurt their brand. But a lot of people, or I don't know how many people don't know, but Conor McGregor, right? I mean, he's huge on personal development. He's huge on affirmations. He's huge on owning it and seeing it and making it come into existence. I don't know if you're an MMA guy. I mean, guy just made history. Just the two highest pay-per-views ever in UFC were both his. It just came out, man.
Like you said, he knows how to promote it.
But it starts with that mindset, right? He knows how to move forward with that mindset. What you think about comes about, right? Taking that action, but thinking into existence, like you said, in that hip hop world. Same with him. It's just what, and I think a lot of champions, whatever they do that. But they just might not all be able to define that or articulate that. But that is the process, right? Feeling, thoughts, your thought, feelings, action, create results every time.
And then, I mean, you know, a lot of times now, a lot of them, they have coaches, mental coaches.
Yeah.
So,
it's huge. And you were talking about, before we get into this, because I'm gonna like this, man. This is gonna be a great connect. But Marion, did we have anybody jump on for comments? Chris, what's up, brother? Did he leave a comment?
Yeah, I did. He said I can relate to this story.
Oh, absolutely. Chris has got an awesome podcast himself, man. That's someone you definitely, Chris, you guys definitely hook up, man. He would be a great guest and vice versa on your guys' podcast. I did his podcast, and it's called Raw and Real.
Okay.
And I'm real, raw, and live. So he's good people, man.
Right.
Good people. He keeps it real.
Cool.
Yeah. Anybody else, Marion?
Yeah, we have shout outs from Mike Purcell.
Shout tag. What's up, big man?
And Edna White.
Okay, Edna, thank you for jumping on. Thank you for taking the time.
And Yasmin Bryant.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Tiffany, we're going to be doing your show this week. We have an action-packed week. It is full from Monday to Friday. Monster Motivator TV. I'm excited. Anybody else, Marion?
Beth Cassidy.
Okay. And I know we have some people creating some comments. You need to refresh?
Yes, send us some questions.
Chris is the last one I've seen. I'll refresh again.
Okay.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Okay.
Yeah, I want to get into the financial part for schools, because
Okay, sorry.
yeah. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've got 2 more comments from Chris.
Okay.
And the one comment is people have good BS meters. You have to be real these days if you're going to make it.
100.
And I'd love to hook up with him and get him on the show.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Vice versa. Yeah, absolutely.
And then Gloria Medarano.
Mm-hmm.
We have to have a wide purpose, and you're great at following the conversation of the interview and asking great thought-provoking questions.
Thank you so much, Gloria. And you're right. It's all about the why. If you don't have your why, you have no direction, and you have nothing to pull you through those fear barriers. That's 100% right. So, I want to talk about, you talked about different things, and we talked about personal development in school, and we talked about some other things, but the financial world, right? The financial end of it. I don't know if you saw his book, but Tony Robbins has a book out now called Money Master the Game, right? Amazing book. He interviewed, it took 4 years, and he interviewed the best of the best. I mean, the Warren Buffetts of everything, right? And he gives you so much information, not just information, but he gives you like websites and how to really protect yourself with investors, and just so much information, man, and things like that thick. I haven't even gone through it all, and I'm looking for the audio book, because that's my world. And I believe, Rob Dyrdek, okay. Well, Rob, the last 3 years, Tony's really helped change, absolutely enhance his life in so many different ways. And he talked about how he finally got his financial world in order, right? He got a direction, and he said Tony Robbins' book and Tony Robbins himself helped with that. And they were talking about, it impacted his life so much. He was on a podcast that he kept telling Tony, you need to get a system here for these kids in school, because this will set them up, or athletes, right? How many athletes, hip hop people that never became that person, right? To when that money comes, and all of a sudden it leaves them, right? As fast as it comes, as fast as it goes. Look at Tyson, right? Mike Tyson's over 200 million deep, and bankrupt. So young too, but there wasn't that education. It wasn't in the real world, and so Money Master the Game, man. If anybody is looking to take their financial world to another level, it actually helped me. I just brought on a new financial advisor because of that book, right? Because that's not my world, right? You want to enhance your weaknesses. So the financial world, what do you think about incorporating that in from day one with kids?
Oh yeah. I'm a student of Dr. Boyce Watkins. Okay. And he has all those programs for kids, but with me, I wasn't raised like that, so I didn't know a lot. Yeah, I learned the trial and error. I kind of learned a little bit, because I just learned my grandmother always saved money. So my grandmother, she didn't have but she never was broke. She always had money, and I remember my mom always used to budget. So I took those little things. Yeah. But everything else, trial and error, and just learning. And even with school, I think just the education system and how much they charge for tuition. Yeah, it's crazy. And there's so many things that you don't realize, and he gets into it, that you're losing money, but it's not presented to you that way. And if you don't know that, you have no idea. He talks about compounding interest, what a difference that makes in your world. He shared a story about a guy that made. In his whole career, he never made over $15,000 a year. But because of the compound interest, and he knew how to leverage it, by the time he was 70 years old, he was a multi-millionaire because of the compound interest. And then the other thing that he talked about that was so interesting to me was financial advisors, right? The typical financial advisor really isn't, they look out for the interest of what they want to sell. But if you look for a fiduciary actually has to look out for your interest first. Then they're not
dictated by, I'm kind of chopping this up, but they're not dictated by what they need to sell for their company. That they're licensed and they're bonded. They have to actually look out for your interests. So little things like that, and then the how much they charge you for this and for that. And when it all adds up, you can, instead of 3%, you can get 1%, and all those little things that he put in this book. Just really amazing book, man.
I think I actually had a book from Tony Robinson called Money Makeover too. He did.
Yeah.
But like my main goal right now, like I'm just trying to make more streams of income because I figure out here in California you're not gonna really save, so it's better just to make. Because sometimes people think I gotta save, but no, if you make more ways of income, you don't have to save because that's a couple more ways of income. So I'm really big on eBay right now.
Right.
eBay,
Good. Yeah.
Because I actually seen
that's a
on
guarantee
YouTube.
hustle.
Yeah, people on YouTube. I actually seen some people making $1 million in a year off YouTube. So
yeah, I mean
you
that's
just gotta find the right product that you can really flip
and consistent,
Yeah.
man. You got to get that system. So how long have you had your podcast?
8 years.
8 years.
Yeah.
So do you do follow-ups? Like, do you have people on again that so
I try to, but sometimes it's like, cause me, the position I am, I interview like, cause it say like go to A-list all the way to D-list,
right?
So I interview mostly B-list and then C-list and up-and-comers. Okay. So sometimes I get the up-and-comers and then they make it and they forget about me.
But you're able to see it.
Right. So I caught a lot of people just before they became who they are. So I like doing that because that's kind of that's my thing.
Yeah.
Kind of like, so the show is kind of like even like A&R aspect, like I'm discovering people. So
yeah, I like that, man. I like that, and that's kind of what we do here as well. Anybody that's got that Rocky story, man, right? And most do. They just don't realize it.
Right.
To share that value and at least, I always tell people your story's not about you, right? You made it through to help somebody else.
Yeah, and that's why I was telling one of my friends, because I was telling her like, because she kind of wants to do the same thing, and she was kind of afraid.
Yeah.
But I was like, you have to realize, like, even with me, like, I know there's people that's watching me do this, and there's people that actually I motivate to do their own show and stuff like that. So you always have to realize the people that you can motivate.
Right. And so many people are running from their story, like you were talking about. You struggled, you had child abuse, all this stuff, but you figured out and you learned that's what made you who you are. You embraced it instead of running from it. How much freedom does that give you?
It's a lot of freedom. Like I said, I embrace everything because, like you said, it makes me tougher. Like even being black, I embrace that. Yeah. I'm not ashamed.
It is what it is. Right.
Hey, it is what it is. It's a little harder, but it is what it is.
Absolutely. And then, when you see people that came from there, and I'll give that example because everyone knows her, Oprah, right? Poor black girl in, where's she from?
She's from Mississippi. She's from our hometown. Yeah.
Right. Really?
Yeah.
Is she?
Elvis. We got a lot of them. Elvis, Walter Payton, Jerry Rice.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, sweetness.
Yep.
Wow. So but, Oprah, listen, abused, wasn't supposed to make it, everything going against her, but she figured out that victims never win, right? Mm-hmm. And look at her. I mean, she just owns the world now.
That's what I'm saying. Like I realized just in life, like everybody has like a story. Everybody has that moment in life where this is in front of them and they can go that way or go that way, and you got the people that push forward. So that's the Oprahs. Everybody has a story where they push forward.
Yeah.
So you just gotta make it happen. Like a lot of people, they want to just make excuses.
Yeah, and you're talking about
fuck excuses, right?
That's it. You know why? They get in the way, man.
Yeah.
Excuses get in the way, and victims never win. And here's the other thing. At the end of the day, it's all about the massive, effective action. So when you're talking, because I'm a big sports guy like you are. Listen, at the end of the day, there ain't nobody that worked harder than Walter Payton. Mm-hmm. That's just a fact, right? And Jerry Rice. They didn't. When you see who they are and what they became, people don't understand that grind on the back end. I remember in Sports Illustrated seeing Walter Payton running hills off season, just running hills like just a maniac, man. Just a beast, just an absolute beast. Because that work ethic, man, you can't beat that work ethic. And I remember Mike Ditka talking about Walter Payton, saying he's probably the greatest football player I've ever coached. I mean, straight up football player he's ever coached. But man, that's a hell of a claim to fame, man. Yeah. You guys got something in the water over there.
That's what I said. I think it's just that, like, it's tough, and I think that just makes strong people. Like
or it breaks them.
Yeah.
It makes them. I always say it's either your anchor or your propeller, right? And you got to decide. Because look, Walter Payton, he's can tell you the same story that you're going to tell us, right? Poor, segregated, all the things that should have not made him make it.
Right.
You know, he has a laundry, or he had a laundry list,
he made it.
But he made it, and then some, right? Jerry Rice, Oprah Winfrey, I mean, made it to the elite of their world,
right?
And look where they came from. So it's so interesting. I had a girl on, Chef Coco. She's from the Philippines. I mean, beyond poor, right? She was one of, I think, 9 kids, if I remember, in the middle. So she was a mom, right, with her siblings. Yeah. She started and operates now 7 businesses, lives in Vegas, and has her own cooking show.
But I actually saw that because you were saying like that's the thing too. A lot of immigrants they're hungry. They're hungry and they have to drive.
And they're gratitude and they're grateful, right? So coming from where you came from, do you feel like that's when you got out, right, of that neighborhood, when you got out of that world? Did you feel like did you have gratitude? Were you grateful to be out of there?
I'm grateful, but at the same time, I feel like I have to help others. So
right.
Yeah.
But I mean, did you feel like you had that combination of hunger and gratitude because you had a chance, you had an opportunity?
Yeah, and then I also had like a couple, like I had this one operation one time, and I was in the hospital for like 3-4 weeks. No food or nothing. So that was kind of like a near-death experience for me. So I told myself then, I was like, hey, if I make it out of this, I'm going as hard. My whole thing in life is, when I die, I don't want to be thinking like, I should have did this.
No regrets.
Yeah.
No regrets.
So as long as I live life like that to the max and do everything I can do,
So that was an aha moment for you,
right?
Huh? That I had the same thing with the motorcycle accident. So what happened?
I think that was actually right before I got out the military.
Was it an accident or was it?
It was just a medical operation and stuff. So,
but that kind of.
Yeah, it just made me want to push harder. So I just told myself, hey, you have to go harder. So anytime, like I said, I'm the type of person where if you tell me no, it's better just to tell me yes, but then I'll kind of, when you tell me no, I'm gonna do everything I can to make
do it.
Yeah,
to push.
So yeah, man, I'm just trying to live my life to the best of my abilities. And I feel like if you do that, let your light shine and other people, help other people. That's all it's about. So,
and I know that obviously you had me on. I'm not a hip hop guy. I'm not an artist. So you bring on, who are some of your guests that you bring on? So it's hip hop artists, it's personal development people.
Yeah, I had MC Light. You might not know. Right. MC Light, Yo Gotti did press, but also had football players.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had actually Philip Buchanan a little while ago. I have like X-rated stars. Yeah. So I do it all. Like I said, because anybody, like the way I make my questions, I try to have it where it doesn't matter. The guest is kind of irrelevant. I try to make it where if the listener's listening to it, they can get something out of the story.
Yep.
So it's kind of like I try to make the podcast. It's kind of like a personal journal of me, and it's like I'm going through life interviewing all these people, getting their success secrets. Yeah. So even like the one thing about my show I like too, if it never like gets out to the masses, I done interviewed over 400 people on how to be successful. Right. So some of that kind of, I'm taking that from you. So I interviewed twice. So hey,
right? And it's that triple win, that trifecta. It's a winner for you, it's a winner for your audience, and a winner for the guests. Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
So I really like it, and like I said, I think as far as the networking, that's the most important thing about it, and it started from just me in my room doing interviews, so I can see how this a little idea can go so far.
And I like that you went there, man, because I know you were talking about that friend of yours, a girl that was saying, because I get people saying, well, listen, how do I do this and how do I do that? Just do it. Like he started in his room, right? Just do it. And then all of a sudden it starts to unfold. Things start to appear, people start to appear to make things happen that you never thought because you kept taking that action. Where we are today and where we're going to be in 2017 for Monster Motivator TV just absolutely eclipses the very first interviews that I did, right? I didn't know what I was doing. All I know is Facebook gave us an opportunity to go live, right? And I wanted to do that. and we just ran with it, and now we're actually building. It became the foundation of the whole brand, right? And it didn't start out that way.
Yeah.
Who would have known? But if I didn't take the action and I'm not afraid to fall down, get back up, wipe yourself off, right? You're never going to know. You're never going to learn, and the greatest classroom. You have your master's in psychology. You have other degrees, right? But at the end of the day, nothing. And you tell me if you agree with this. Nothing trumps real world wisdom.
Right.
Real world.
Because you have to be able to apply it
and
to
do
something.
it.
Yeah.
And do it, right?
So if you're just reading all these books, like I interviewed Shoney Carter, MMA fighter.
Did you?
Yeah, so he said basically you can interview you can read all the books you want to read about fighting, but you have to fight. So some things like you can read all you want to read about cooking, but till you cook.
Right.
Yeah. So.
He's so true, man. That's so true. How long ago did you interview him?
I actually just did an interview with him, but I actually interviewed him 8 years ago,
And then you brought him back?
Yeah.
Man, I'd love to, if he ever wants to come on, man, look this up.
Yeah.
Love to have him on,
Okay.
man. But it's right. You have to get in there. You got to figure it out. And you got to be willing to fall down and get back up because there's that wisdom. You know, that's interesting. So where do you see yourself going with this?
Right now I'm kind of I'm on my own little personal journey trying to just do self-actualization. So I'm really I'm really just doing soul searching, just trying to figure out, okay, what do I want in life? What do I want in life? And
so
really just sit back and
to help people out there that are doing the same things, there's a lot of people or probably should be doing the same things, they just don't realize. What are some of the things you're doing for that self-realization, that own level of awareness?
So first off, just a lot of meditating,
okay,
a lot of reading, studying, and then pen and paper. It's this simple.
Right.
Write down what you want in life. Write down what you don't want in life.
Yeah.
Kind of do. Sometimes just do it every day. Just keep writing it down till you really. Because some of the stuff, when you really think about it, because what I'm realizing now, if I'm writing down material things, it's like, okay, what do I really want? Because if it's just material things, it's not really.
Right.
So I'm really like, okay, if I'm saying I want this, what do I really want? Oh, I want freedom.
Right.
Okay, how do I get freedom?
Right.
So I'm really just trying to dig the surface and just really, really dig. Because I feel like with Politickin, as long as I keep growing, it'll keep growing. Yeah. So I feel like the main thing, since I'm the center of the brand, is working on me. Yeah,
and I'm glad you went there with the list because I always taught this a long time ago from one of my mentors, and I share it with people. When you talk to them, you ask them what they do want, they're struggling.
Right.
So one of the things that I was taught is you take that list, right? Like Poe said, you take a line, you take your paper, draw a line down the center. On the left-hand side is everything you don't want. On the right-hand side, whatever that is, right? I don't want to be broke. I don't want a bad relationship. I don't want to work for somebody. Now, on the other side of that line, do the polar opposite, right? I want to be wealthy. Mm-hmm. I am in a great relationship. I am an entrepreneur. Now, take that left list and throw it out.
Yeah.
Now,
what they were saying, even with I didn't even want to say write down the negative stuff, but a lot of people think so negatively.
They got to start somewhere.
Yeah, because you really just supposed to write down what you want, but some people, they're like, I don't know what you want, so write down what you don't want. Right.
And at the end of the day, and I know you're probably on board with this as well, there's no right or wrong, right? So if there are material things, as long as that's tied to a why that's big enough, as long as that's tied to a why that becomes bigger than you, it's all gonna become much bigger than just that car or just that might be a byproduct, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? And I think that's the other thing is people feel some people, their conditioning might make them feel like they're guilty because I want that Lamborghini or I want that house or I want whatever that is, right? House on the beach, whatever it is that you want. But at the end of the day, like Oprah said, I saw her in an interview, right? And the guy, and I could tell this wasn't a question that was on the list, right? Because I could see her face. Mm-hmm. And he says, do you ever feel guilty for everything you have? And you could see she stepped back a second and she just came right at him. She goes, absolutely not. She goes, number one, I earned it. But number two, if I didn't get to the level on that, I wouldn't be able to build a college. I wouldn't be able to give to the level I can give. And she says that's why I'm always trying to get better, to give more. Right? So that guilt of, well, you're greedy. No. The people that get to that level or even close to that level, they understand that giving is the foundation. The more you give, the more you get. It just might not be the same way, but you're still going to get so much more. You know, when you get it, and that's the other thing, Money Master the Game, he talks about, and I've been doing it for years, but he talks about, 10% of your salary or 10% of whatever that is, if you're self-employed, your check or whatever, to donate, right? Give it to your charities, give it to your, pay it forward. He says it just comes back. It's just the law. It's just the way it works. As long as you're giving with the right intention, right? Energy's everything.
Right. No, the only thing, with material things, if you watch all the stories, it's like, you have to realize a lot of those people that reach the top, when they have that stuff, it's not about that.
It's not the end all.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
No.
so it's like, you just have to, I want that stuff, but it's not.
It can't be your identity, right?
Yeah.
It's interesting because when you, even if you're not at that level and you went for something that was material and you got it, then you're like, okay, now what?
Because I went through that. Like I went through, when I got out the Marine Corps, like I said, I started entry level.
Yeah.
So the whole time, 7 years, I want to be a manager, I want to be a manager, I want to be a manager. Got it. What's next?
Exactly.
So it's like, this is like a little rat race. So it's like, you have to back up and be like, okay, what do you really want?
Yes, because you will get there if you keep focusing on it.
Right.
So be careful what you wish for.
Right. And then, like you said, so even I know a lot of people, you continue to climb up that ladder, but when you climb up that ladder, you sacrifice some time, friends, family. So is that what you want?
Exactly.
So you have to really think of. That's why I say I sit down and really try to think about what I want. Like throughout the day, sometimes I just say, what do I want, and just throw it up and just kind of let the universe.
Yeah, and then again, there's no right or wrong, right? For me, maybe it's less time here, but more time here. For you, it's less time here, more time here. Whatever works for you is really the key. Marion, did we have some more people jump on?
I'm going to do Evan Williams first.
Oh, Evan, my man, he always blows it up live. What's up, brother?
Okay, he goes, hello people, the SIP is in the house. Yes, I make my videos in my room. Proud of you all. Self-actualization meditation.
That's it, brother. That's it, 100.
And Tom Lagari, he goes, great stuff here. I turned off my Cardone audiobook and have you guys in my earbuds at the gym.
Look at that, man. We are feeling the love, my man Tom. He was just on a show. He was on our show last week. I think it was last week. No, the week before, because I was in Arizona. Awesome guy, man. Him and his wife, awesome people. He's doing awesome stuff. He's building a business. He's an attorney, but he's building a business that he interviews people for long periods of time and then puts a biography together for them. Very, very cool. Yeah, great people. Thank you, Tom, for jumping on, man. And listen, if you shut off Grant Cardone for us, we are feeling the love, my man. So knuckle that up. Anybody else, Marion?
Gloria Madonna. She put the money topic were very interesting. I'm taking notes on the books that are being mentioned, and then she goes, taking that action. I love knowing that no one really knew what they were doing. You can have all that knowledge and input, but you got to take action and be willing to fall down to get back up.
That a girl, absolutely. And if you're writing down books, here's a book. If we're talking about affirmations, right? We're talking about the hip hop world where you saw that tie-in. This book literally took it to another level for me. What to say when you talk to yourself by Dr. Shad Helmstetter. What to say when you talk to yourself by Dr. Shad Helmstetter. And Gloria, I'll repost that when we share this. We reshare this. And as you guys know, when we reshare this, Chris is going to jump on, reintroduce himself, and connect with you guys. So this is definitely somebody you want to connect with and talk to him about his podcast, man, because he's got it going on. Anybody else, Marion?
No, Gloria has another comment to make a list. I forgot about that one. Great reminder. Set goals, pay it forward. I totally get that.
Yeah.
Stuff right here.
Yeah, I mean, Gloria, it's just, like I always say, I don't make the rules, you don't make the rules. Life makes the rules. And life says, number one, you got to earn it. If you're not willing to earn it, you don't deserve it. And here's the laws that you need to abide by, the laws of the universe. So absolutely, Gloria, and I will repost that. Anybody else?
Evan Williams again. He's got icons, pounds, fists, and sunglass smileys. Number boss man.
That's
boss man.
That's it, brother. And thank you guys for the hearts. And if you're getting some value out of this, make sure you share it. Don't be afraid to share it. Let's get the word out there. Let's get Monster Motivator TV out there, real, raw, and live for people. Because what we bring to you is the real. We don't worry about if it hurts people's feelings, if they feel. If I use it, I always say this, man. I live my life with intention, pure intention, right? If I use a word or a sentence that offends you, that's on you, because my intention is pure to give back. So that's how we roll here on Monster Motivator TV Live. So share this, get it out there. So Poe, is there anything? Oh, let me do this, because some people might not know, right? What is Poe Politickin mean? What is that term? Why is it called that?
So Politickin.
Politickin. Okay.
So my name is Chris Porter. So Poe, that's the nickname. Politickin is slang. Right now we're politicking.
Yeah. Okay.
So politicking is basically this.
Okay.
So
So
politicking, take the G off, and you find everything.
That's
it. Politicking, politicking.
Awesome, man. Awesome. In case people didn't know. So is there anything I didn't talk about that you want to mention, that you want to share?
No, like just follow your dreams.
Okay.
Stay in the gym, work out.
That's right. That's right.
Get some gains.
So you say follow your dreams. If someone says, "How do I do that?" What would your first bit of advice be, man?
I'll go back to the pen and paper.
Just do it. Right?
It's something about, you can't just have it in your mind. You have to write it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it has to be something with that writing. And then once you write it down, you have to take action.
Right.
So I would just go like, okay, you say, how do I follow my dreams? Okay, what are your dreams? What do you want to do?
Right. You got to identify, right? Define.
So I guess that's the thing too. Like, people don't like to think.
Right.
And that's where it goes. You have to think. Like, it ain't just, life is not autopilot. Like, to think, like, I was thinking about this. Like, the people in life, the ones that make the most money are the thinkers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like,
and
you can only work like we have to labor, and some people have to do like the manual.
Yeah.
Like, the thinkers are the creators. Like, these people make stuff like this, making what we got.
Right.
Those are the people that you have to.
Right, the thinkers plus the doers. So when you tie in, right, because you can have the greatest idea in the world, but if you're not willing to move on it, execution is everything. So it's like Poe's saying, it really is this, man. It's the thoughts. Your thoughts create your feelings. Your feelings create your actions, and your actions create your results. Mm-hmm. So if you're not happy with your results, right, go back to your thoughts. Go back to your thoughts. So we talk about that a lot. So real quick, I know I always talk about the knockout fear in the first round and the fear barrier. How do you get past them? What are some of the things that you do to get past some of your fear barriers, man?
I just realized fear was to say false evidence appearing real.
That's it.
So it's really
an illusion.
Yeah. I don't see what's the point of being afraid. Like, and like I said, I think it goes back to self-awareness and self-knowledge of self. And if you really have knowledge of it, like you was talking before, like, we have to realize the same stuff that's in space, that's in the universe, we have it. Like, all that power is inside of it. Like, our brain is so powerful. So it's like, what are you afraid of, and why are you afraid? Like, a lot of the stuff is just in your mind, you know. So.
It's just an illusion.
And if it's not, like, really with me, if it's not like you put a gun, like, even if you put a gun in my head, I probably won't be afraid. But if it's not like life or death, I'm not afraid. It's all right. If I can't die right at that moment, I guess I learned that in the military. Because if it's not that moment, if I'm not going to die from it, it's okay.
You'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. Perception, right? What you perceive it to be. It's going to, like, you grew up in a rough time, right? You can perceive that to be your crutch, or you can perceive that to be your propeller, and that's what I love, and that's what, you know, I didn't even know all that about you until we jumped, because your show is all about me, right? So we get to get a little bit behind that black curtain, man.
And it's kind of good, like, with me, like, my background is like, when you grew up like how I grew up. Like, I can lose it all. Damn, be all right. I'm not gonna. Some people they lose it all and they go blow their brains out. I'm not gonna do that because I've been like that before. So I know how to do the Trump thing and start back over and make it happen. So
and everyone has that ability, but you're right. Unless they look at it that way, right? And they look at it as, you know what, this is. I'm going to build this, but not only build it, but when I get back up, I'm going to build it even bigger than it was. And that's really the winner's mentality. And everyone has that ability, but whether or not you're going to do that or not, and a lot of that has to do with who you surround yourself with, who your environment is, whether or not you can get past that. So, Marion, before we jump off, anybody else jump on?
As I said,
All right. Whatever works to build that self-image, man. That's it.
And Gloria made another comment. Awesome, repost that book. I gotta run and see Eliza.
All right. We will repost it, Gloria. Thank you so much for jumping on. Anybody else, Marion?
That's all the comments.
All right. So, guys, we're going to reshare this. Chris is going to jump on, connect with you guys. I'm going to jump on, connect with you guys again. Thank you so much for taking the time, jumping on here, and then we're gonna have this on our YouTube channel as well. Make sure you subscribe to that and share this. Get this message out there. And if anybody wants to get on a kick-ass podcast, talk to my man. He'll make it happen. And as you know, man, we end this the same way every time, right? It's called the Monster Motivator Roar.
All right.
So now here's the thought process behind this. It's not just fun, right? I believe that you can only be in one state of mind at a time. So if you're in gratitude state, you can't be in victim state. If you're in victim state, you can't be in gratitude state. And how cool would it be to be in that unstoppable state the majority of your day, right? And life always says, you talked about this, life always gives you two options, right? Life says, Poe, do you want to purr like a kitten or roar like a lion?
All right.
What do you want to do? Lion, baby, lion. So 1, 3, we're going to do the Monster Motivator Roar. Ready? 1, 2, 3.